guys, what's up? It's Raiti from Raiti's Rides. We are here in Fort Worth, Texas for the first drive of this vehicle right here. What is it? This is your changed up, updated, refresh 2025 Genesis GV80, and this is the top dog trim known as the Prestige. But before we get into this mid-size, luxury, fully uncompromised crossover SUV, let's talk about what's going on here. Genesis. We've talked about it many a time. A company that started back in 2015 is now really calling the shots to what the market segment is asking for and demanding. It's fascinating because this brand was once upon a time a model in Hyundai's lineup. Now the premium brand of Hyundai, known as Genesis, the only Korean luxury car brand in existence, is bringing some major changes to its flagship mid-size crossover SUV. Lots of competition, of course, 2 rows, 3 rows. You could still get your GV80 in a 3-row, but we're gonna focus on the 2-row because that really is their top seller and the one that goes against the BMW X5. You're looking at the Mercedes-Benz GLE, but there's also the Japanese premium brand. So what I want to find out is if you're looking for the best new luxury mid-size 2-row SUV, do you go Genesis GV80 or do you go with the competition? Let's go ahead, let's dive into ours and find out. Right off the bat, all new color for 2025. This is what they call the hero color. It's called Storr Green. And what we are lucky enough to have is the matte finish. So you could actually get Storr Green in 2 different formats. Full gloss, like you would normally find on any other car on the streets, or in this beautiful, really interesting, detailed matte finish. So at the front of the business, you can see that there's a metallic, it's not just a flat green, it's a metallic flatness to it, but it really sparkles nicely, great balance, and this is not a wrap, this is actually a real paint job. Now, as we work our way down, you have our unique dual split setup on your headlight design. What's different for 2025 is you now have the micro array of LED lighting. So you'll see our LED headlights much more when it comes to what you see on the interior, very plentiful on the interior of that headlight housing. Of course, you're gonna have your LED daytime running lamp and turn signal all blended in nicely. And I'm still digging the unique layout that Genesis brings, especially when you look at a Lexus RX or a Acura MDX. Now, working our way down, here is more changes. Giving it a little bit more aggressive look, you have these ginormous corner air intake openings that are functional, and you'll see our unique crisscross design that Genesis brings. And then on the bottom part, because this is a Prestige trim, the bright shiny chrome finish. But let me know what you think about the Storr Green, especially in this matte finish. I think that this would be the color that I would want. It really works well, especially in the big Texas sun. Now, as we come across the main grille, speaking about Texas, being in Texas, it's all about going bigger. They go big with the front grille. And I really think that this is the only brand that does it super well. So you'll notice for 2025, we now have a double crisscross lace design. You're still gonna get your forward-facing camera. Like the way it brings a lot more intricate detail. And that's one of the things that Genesis is really good at, is the intricate details. Of course, fully functional up top. And then you'll notice the new design on the bottom. To give it that sportier, aggressive feel, you're gonna have the gloss black interlacing design, and then this whole new lower air intake, which is functional. And I really like the way they did these notches across the bottom. Like I said, this is what you're seeing in the luxury crossover SUV segment. And of course, Genesis wants to stay at the front of the curve. Let me know what you think about all the new curves at the front of the business on this GV80. Now, as we rise up, you have a slightly tweaked Genesis badge, new for 2025. They've using real metal, and they're also putting some nice intricate design etching. This is real etching on the metal badge. Love the way the hood still takes that form of the badge and just brings it nicely towards the windshield. This portion is still the same as the previous model year. So this isn't a total redesign, but a major update and refresh. Now, as we come around the bend, of course, if we have new color, 2 new colors technically, and that gives you a total of 9 exterior colors to choose from on the Genesis GV80. Not only do we have the 9 colors, you're also gonna get different wheels. And of course, being in Texas, we gotta go big with the 22-inch wheels. This is the size of a Texas pizza. And if you're wondering what the heck is a Texas pizza, that's where you have, of course, mozzarella, tomato sauce, and rattlesnake, nicely grilled up. Love the way it's got the machined aluminum etching all the way around, that metallic gray finish. And then standard on all GV80s are gonna be the 6-piston Brembo calipers. It's hard to see because of how the wheels stop, but it actually does say Genesis on those flat silver Brembo brakes. But let me know what you think about the wheel design, because I really think that it blends modern, luxury, and sportiness all together. Your standard wheel size is gonna be 20-inch wheel. So 22-inch wheel, and if you're wondering, well, what's the size of the tire? 265 on the width, 40 series sidewall, and all GV80s come standard with all-wheel drive. So you got power coming to the front wheels, power going to the rear wheels, and we have active electric suspension system to control that rebound and compression, fine-tuning all around all 4 corners. Another thing I'm really digging is we have our Storr Green, that flat finish around the opening of the fenders. I'm really liking that extra touch. No flat black anywhere on this vehicle. And then as we continue down the side, you're gonna get that signature style with your LED side marker lights, a little bit of chrome trim. You know, I'm not really the biggest chrome guy. I'm not gonna zonk it because I feel like it does fit the style of the vehicle, but I would like to see an option for dark chrome, some blacked out chrome. I think would look, just to me, a little bit more modern. But love the way they do the lighting. Of course, you're gonna have the Storr Green on your mirror caps, 360-degree cameras all the way around. So you got more camera technology than what Neil Armstrong had when he landed on the moon in 1969. And then of course, up top, you have your aluminum style finish on your raised roof rail. You could get your crossbars if you wanted to. And then we have the bright, shiny metalwork top and bottom. It's interesting because I really feel, because everything else is flat, that the chrome accents really makes a nice pop to what's going on the side of the vehicle. So we have that chrome accent dripped along the bottom, nothing too heavy. And then on the door handles, they did a nice balancing act. It's almost like a person on a tight wire walking across the Grand Canyon, because you could see how we have some body color with a little bit of chrome finish. So I think that they're balancing it well, and I actually like the chrome more because we have the matte finish. Now, getting the power to the rear wheels, like I said, that all-wheel drive system, I'm gonna have Lori swing around because one of my favorite body lines, which is still the same on this 2025, is how it comes off the rear passenger door and nicely into the rear lighting. That double stacked, like I said, micro LED array lighting that's new for 2025. You got the new grille, of course. And then on the back side, of course, we have our all-wheel drive badge, 3.5T. That's the top power plant, Genesis GV80. Up top, we're gonna have to zonk this guy. I wish they would figure out where to put this rear wiper, because if you look at some of the competition, they hide it very well because you do have a long roof spoiler. Very long roof spoiler. And this camera up here is for your digital rear view mirror. So we have a digital rear view mirror plus your backup camera, but that's why this camera is mounted so high. Working our way down, the changes you're gonna see is how they reshape that lower bumper area. No longer have exhaust. And I'm on the, I should say, no longer have the exhaust showing. Of course, there's exhaust underneath the rear bumper, but the way that they restyled it, it's hidden now, and I'm not so sure that I'm liking that, because to me, why do we have this grille design then? This looks like a fake exhaust opening or something. So I wish they would have kept the actual functional exhaust showing. I think that that would have been the touch to keep from the previous gen, but everything is nicely painted that new hero color called Storr Green, S-T-O-R-R, and I'm sure you know how to spell green. Let's go ahead, let's pop the hood and talk performance of this all-wheel drive luxury SUV. All right, guys, we got the hood popped. Of course, you still have hood struts underneath the hood because this is the 3.3T. The cat's out of the bag. This is the 3.3 liter twin turbo V6. Now remember, this is rear-wheel drive based, but it has the all-wheel drive system sending power to the front wheels. I like the engine cover. I like what you see underneath the hood, especially with the aluminum bracing. But what about actual horsepower and performance? So a little tweaking to those numbers for 2025. You're looking at that 3.3 liter twin turbo V6, 375 horsepower, 391 pound-feet of torque. It is still mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission, 0 to 60 in about 5.1 seconds, top speed around 150 miles an hour, MPGs 16 in the city, 22 on the highway, and 19 combined. You can tow up to 6,000 pounds with your GV80, and the vehicle weighs around 5,000 pounds. Ours has an electronic limited slip diff, and we have an all-new electronic brake booster. Now, you can also get the standard engine, which is going to be a 2.5 liter turbo inline 4, putting out 304 horsepower if you still want to have that option as well. But nice to see them keeping the option of having the 4-cylinder turbo, giving that one a little bit more horsepower, but also still keeping the V6 twin turbo. But why don't we go ahead, let's fire this up and see it roll. All right, guys, we're inside this 2025 Genesis GV80, that 3.5T. So that means we got that 3.5 liter twin turbo V6, a little bit more power, more style outside. Wait until I show you on the interior. Now, I know you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, I'm ready to pull the trigger. I've been in a BMW. I'm done with it. I've not had much enjoyment with it. Everybody and their mother has one. I'm digging this new GV80. How much is it? So starting MSRP to get you into a GV80 starts at $57,000. This being a 3.5T with all of the goodies, you're looking at an MSRP of $79,300. But let's see what you get for the money. To the door panels, I love the new color combo. So we have the green from the outside brought inside. We have some nice light wood finish, bright aluminum silver finishes, and then look at our new Bang & Olufsen 19-speaker sound system with those aluminum speaker grill covers. The green drips onto the armrest, no gloss black, and then we have a baseball glove style tan with the stitching, elegantly done, and then a door pocket that's large enough for 2 Whataburgers and a large Pepsi to wash it down. Now, going from the door panel to the dash, same thing. This green finish in here just blends so nicely with the exterior, the stitch work, this wood finish with the actual engraving detailed design. You have your ambient lighting, which I'll talk more about that in a second, and then you'll notice how the tan comes down to the midsection here and then wraps into our new center console. Now, as you flow in, look at what we have. We're in Fort Worth, Texas, like I said, and we have 27 inches of OLED display, uninterrupted. So you have your infotainment system and you have your digital gauge cluster. And then, of course, you're going to have all the familiar apps and icons, wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. Here are some of the new things. Mood Curator. You click on this. This is new for 2025. You could set up all the different things when it comes to scent, lighting, and sound to help relax your day. The kids have been driving you nuts. Your boss has been riding your back. Now you could actually have the vitality, the delight, the care, and the comfort in your driving experience to make sure you could be revitalized. Of course, you're still gonna have quiet mode. When it comes to seating, I really like this because let's say your kids are in the back seat and you don't like the way they're moving around. What you could do is you could actually make those adjustments right from the infotainment system for them, which is a nice touch. That also shows that we have full electric seats all the way around. And of course, when it comes to 3D setup, let me go back to the main screen here. This 3D setup, there is our GV80. We hit 360 and now you can spin clockwise, counterclockwise, and then make your adjustments accordingly to the updated driver assistance programs, all the safety features, everything contained nicely within this new large and in charge infotainment system. Another thing you'll like is you could do the seat controls here, but watch, when I touch just with my fingertips on the side of my driver's seat, it actually comes up here. And then of course, we're gonna have our full massage setup for the passenger and the driver. And it's one of those things, you set it and you forget it, and you can have it totally set up exactly the way that you want it. Let's throw it into reverse, new electric shifter. Super clear on the resolution. You got your 360. We actually had a high school bus, a kid show up to watch us review, watch Lori and us review this GV80. They heard we were in the area and they're a online marketing class, and they came out to see us. So you got all your different camera angles, just like before, the 360. Love the trajectory, the resolution, and everything else. And like I said, even some people camping out to watch Raiti's rides in action. And then you have that full touchscreen capability. And then what's really nice is when you go to map, look how large the map is. That's really cool, and how it blends into the digital gauge cluster. Now, working our way down, all new. So you're gonna have your touchscreen, TFT display for your AC controls. Of course, we have 3 stages of ventilated seats, 3 stages of heated seats. We have our scent controller, and you know how like when your grandmother used to come hug you after she put on her perfume, you could like taste it. I could still like think about that nasty taste in my mouth. Well, guess what? You don't have to be like your grandmother. You could actually adjust how much scent is coming into the vehicle. Of course, you got a 2-stage heated steering wheel, the dual climate, some real knobs, which is pleasant to see, especially for radio controls. And then there's our silver, nicely decorated start-stop button. Working our way down this wood recycled newspaper finish. Open the door, 2 USB-Cs. They gave us some cords because we're just that special. Here is our updated Genesis key fob with the switch gear on the side, smart park and everything. And then you do have a 12 volt. And what's hiding underneath is you have your wireless charging. So nice to have all those different ways to charge your accessories or your passengers. Then of course we have our 2 cup holders, direct drive control knob if you don't want to touch the screen, and this is our new electric shifter for the 8-speed automatic transmission. More of that great finish, the ambient lighting, the drive mode buttons. I'll show you this when you come over to the business end. You can lock the center diff. And then you'll notice the leather comes onto the armrest. Now this is a little bit of a zonk, and I'm gonna show you. Bombs away, but guess what? Don't plan on putting anything very huge in here because it's a small area. You could basically line up 6 luxury Twinkies. And remember, the luxury Twinkies are the ones that they sell at stores, you know, like Tiffany's and Gucci and everything else, where it has the gold medal flake in the cream. It's edible gold medal flake, but that's about all you're gonna fit in there. There's about 4 or 5 Twinkies. Don't put any more because you're gonna bust cream all over this beautiful Nappa leather interior. Speaking of the leather, look at it. The softness, the piping, the diamond pleated stitching, the bolstering, full electric assist, of course. You can move it 20 different ways from Sunday, massage seating, and you have the Alcantara headliner. Even the sunshades for the panoramic sunroof have Alcantara micro suede material. So that to me is mind-blowing. And then you do have your digital rear view mirror, which everybody, if Lori and I disappear, take a picture, a screenshot of that license plate. That may be the motorhome that kidnaps us. But I think 2 other things I forgot to mention. When you put on the heated seats for the driver. The center console gets heated as well. And then we also have the chauffeur seating. I like the way that we have that capability to move very easily the passenger seat. But why don't you come over to the business end? I got a brand new steering wheel with the Genesis name on it I want to show you. Coming over. All right, guys, business time behind the wheel. You do have 2 memory seat settings. The sill is a nice aluminum, and of course it says Genesis, but it would be nice if it had some LED lighting. Pedal box, very decorative, but I am gonna give it a half zonk. Even though it looks good, I would prefer some aluminum pedals, but look at the size of that dead pedal. This is why I talk about nice place to rest your foot while you're cruising down the road. I don't talk about a lot of floor mats, but this has very thick ply carpet there, and the carpet underneath is very nice. That's gonna help cut down on noise and vibration harshness. You have the full seat controls, just like on the passenger side, and that massage setting. I'm 6 feet tall. I got plenty of room in here, and that should be no surprise because the way they redesigned this center console even gives you more space. So I like the way it really feels new in here. The interior feels like a redesign, especially the steering wheel. Thank you for making it look like a regular wheel, but with the Genesis touches. The stitching on the horn button. See how that looks so classy? That updated Genesis badge. I love the two-tone with the green. It just flows, it just works. And I'm not even a big green guy. Like, I like eating my vegetables, but it just works in here. But normally I don't care about green, but I care about green in this vehicle. You do have paddles on the back of the wheel to go up and down that 8-speed automatic. And then you do have an electric tilting and telescoping steering wheel. And then, like I said, the continuation of the 27 inches of display. It's OLED. You got your different modes, which is really nice. The sport, you got your custom mode, and then, of course, your snow mode. And then, just like many other Genesis products and Hyundai products, you have your blind spot cameras, which are a heaven sent when you're driving on the highways and byways here in Texas. So nicely done with that setup. And then really the cherry on top is gonna be the 12.3-inch HUD head-up display. So I'm liking the way they balance the technology, and probably one of the first to just use mostly black and white for the graphics instead of all these other stupid colors that just don't work. Works in here. Let's get into the back seat area because I have a feeling your passengers are gonna be pampered. Let's get back there and find out. All right, guys, let's giddy up and get into this backseat area. The nice thing about this being a mid-size 2-row SUV, you have plenty of room for your big Texas boots, your spurs, even the big belt buckles. You know, it almost looks like a WWE wrestling championship belt. Some of these Texas belt buckles that I've seen out here, but the room is plentiful. On the backs of the seats, I love all the soft touch material. Of course, you're going to be able to have a pocket here, put a couple magazines. Maybe you are a WWE fan. You could have your monthly magazine in here, see who's on top, who's not, and remember those historic names. The Ultimate Warrior, Bam Bam Bigelow, Jake the Snake Roberts. Those were really where it was at. Those were the days. Hulk Hogan. And of course, oh yeah, Macho Man Randy Savage. Come on in. You do have your nicely done AC vents, just like up front. And then check it out. We have heated seats and ventilated seats. Thank you, Genesis. And the same style touchscreen as up front with the TFT display. Down below, 2 USB-Cs and a home power source. If you're wondering what is this little hump here, this is not for you to put a saddle. It's not like a baby area like for a saddle. This is where the drive shaft runs that sends the power from the rear wheels to the front wheels and the front wheels to the rear wheels. So that's how the all-wheel drive system works. I think the thing that your cowboys and cowgirls are really gonna like is that they're not gonna have to use a lot of force to move the seats because guess what? It's all electric assist. So nicely done. Electric assist up front. Lori showcasing all the switch gear. And it's one of those ones that even though you can't see it when the doors close, it's easy to figure out. And they have these air bladders in here to really get the seat perfectly formed to your body. Pull that down. Wow, soft touch. Look at how they brought the stitching in here. And then, boop, open that up. felt lining. You could put some Charleston chews in there. You could put some now and laters. Hell, you could put even a couple boxes of snow caps in there, especially on a hot freaking day like today. I would like some nice cool snow caps with some Coca-Cola to wash it down. That sounds healthy. Now to top it off, you still get the same great stitching. And I think I gotta add 5 horsepower for the tan seat belts. That seems like a missed opportunity if I didn't do that. So you do have the tan seat belts to match the tan seats. And then up top, you'll notice the vanity mirrors. You know, if you're all about that song, You're So Vain, you know, it's like, you're so vain. You probably think this song is about you. Have you ever heard that? Now you could look at yourself and you're like, oh yeah, I'm ready for that cow tipping event. But anyways, what I'm ready to do is show you how many boxes of cowboy boots we could fit in the cargo area. If you're ready, I'm ready. Let's get back there and check it out. All right, guys, cargo area time. Now, just like before, where you're gonna open up that cargo area is the button at the base of the wiper. It's just another reason why I think they should move the wiper so that this could be relocated maybe right above the license plate, because it's kind of like a zit that I wanna pop that's on a teenager's face. But push the button, nice electric assist, opens up. You're still gonna get the same generous amount of space. And that's the thing, is you can get a GV80 with 3 rows. Ours has 2 rows, which is gonna maximize your cargo space. So you're looking at 34 cubic feet of space with the seats up, 84 cubic feet of space with the seats down. Some of the finishes, like I said, it's all in the details. I love the way they bring that Alcantara style material all the way to the cargo area. You do have your Bang & Olufsen aluminum speaker grill covers. Remember, 19 speakers, more wattage, more power, more purity of sound. On the passenger side, you do have a 12 volt. So when you're maybe at the football game, you need to plug something in doing some tailgating, you have your switch gear with the trim to fold down the rear seats. And if you're wondering, what is this book back here? This is actually the Genesis Bible. It's actually Genesis and Revelations. It talks about the history of Genesis, starting with just the G80 and the G90 sedans. And now we have well, I should say Genesis, not me. Genesis has a cornucopia of different vehicles to choose from. So definitely, if you get a Genesis, you want to read through that. It might change your life. Now, to put the seats down, very simple. I'm going to go ahead and hit those buttons. Nice electric assist. They are one touch, which is pleasing to my fingers and to my sanity. 60-40 split. Now you're looking at over 80 cubic feet of space. Nice that they are almost totally flat. Lori brought her balance, scale, and measures, and it's pretty much as flat as it's gonna get. And then of course we have the Genesis cargo liner with your cargo net here to hold down your cantaloupes, your watermelons, so that they don't go rolling around. And underneath, you do have a little bit of storage. The security shade, there is no spare. So just something to think about, there isn't a spare. You get a can of Flat Fix and some sealant and an AC, well, I should say air compressor, to get you going back home. But why don't we go ahead? I'm not ready to go home. I'm ready to hit the open roads and trails. If you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go take this Genesis GV80 for a spin and see how it drives. All right, guys, we are inside this 2025 Genesis GV80 3.5T. And right away, you know, I wanted to start filming because on this type of road where there's these concrete slabs, this is really where Genesis flexes its muscle because of the type of steel that they use in their vehicles for the frame, because of the sound deadening material, the double pane side glass, the acoustic glass on the windshield. It really helps create a quieter environment, even though there's chaos happening outside underneath our 4 tires. But right away, love the arrangement of everything in this vehicle. As you notice, I'm adjusting my driver's seat and it pops up and shows me exactly what I'm touching so that I could keep my eyes on the road. And the great news is that the place where you spend the most time with your car, which is on the interior, like I said, it feels like a totally different GV80 in here. All right, guys, I want to go on throttle again. This time I want to use the paddles on the back of the steering wheel to go through the 8-speed automatic. You'll notice that we have a small gear indicator at the upper left-hand corner.
So at least it tells me what gear I'm in, and if you're ready, I'm ready. On throttle, here we go. Pretty responsive shifts when you hit the paddle. Let's see what the downshifts feel like. So I'm gonna slow down a little bit here. Just as quick as the upshifts, which are really nice. And I'm really digging how the steering, the throttle sensitivity, all that changes once you're in sport mode. Well, it changes in all the modes, but it's the, you know, quickest response reacting to your inputs is with sport mode on, and that's really going to allow you to have that little heavier steering feel, so you can get more feedback through the wheel, quicker throttle sensitivity, and of course changing what the suspension is doing. It just really kind of shows what Genesis is doing with the GV80, with making it a proper evolution. You know, they did the revolution when the GV80 first came out back in 2020, but now they're doing an evolution of it and really fine-tuning each of the different facets of what makes a Genesis a Genesis. So hopefully this has been a good, easy overall review to see what Genesis is bringing for 2025 on this GV80. We're gonna get back to the homestead and wrap this one up. So giddy up, and I'll see you in a honky-tonk minute.
All right, guys, been another crazy adventure for the first drive out here in Fort Worth, Texas with Genesis for the experience behind the wheel of the GV80. Got to thank the whole Genesis USA team for having us here to bring it to you first. Let me know what you think. Are you liking the updates? Are you liking the additions? Are you liking the changes to the GV80 over the competition for the best new luxury crossover SUV? Let me know down in that comment section. But if you're new to the channel, you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raitis Rides family. You need to give it up to the one that holds the camera steadier than anybody. Yes, even including Steven. My ninja, LG Raiti. Lori Gibbons Raiti working that camera like a champ. Show her some love in the comment section. Thank you, Lori, for all that you do. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.